Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What You See Anime. I am your host, Peter. On today's episode, we got a fun one for you. Since summer was apparently crazy busy for every single person who has anything to do with this podcast, and in honor of Halloween, this is going to be sort of a Frankenstein episode. So we're going to be having some guests of the podcast join and give their thoughts on some shows. But fear not, change is hard for everybody. We still got Miles. So Miles, he finished 2 shows, so he's here to talk about 2 shows. And this is normally the part where I ask you what you thought about the season as a whole. So I'm still going to ask you that question, but also what shows that you didn't get to that you wish you did.
Okay, yeah. So this is interesting because there's like a lot of things, you know. I've been very busy. I have a kid. All my free time, like almost unironically, has gone to like watching our Watch Club shows. Just work's been busy and all that stuff.
Felt that.
So, you know, there's a lot that I wanted to watch, and then so like Dandadan Season 2, right? Would have loved to watch that. That Fragrant flower show that I always see memes of, where like shonen bros are like kind of embarrassed that they like it. Hikaru, which we might end up watching, but we'll find out there. And then like I thought I was good on Dress Up Darling. I thought I watched the first season. I enjoyed the first season, and I was like, I get it, whatever. But then everyone else is, like everyone's like, oh, this is the fucking best episode season anime ever. And so gotta watch that sometime soon as well. So those are like the big hitters. Wait, I'll ask you real quick, niche shows from this season that you have watched that you think I might enjoy.
Ooh, that you might enjoy. That's the thing, because also I gotta give context for the people that are listening. Because this is a Frankenstein episode, we normally record on Monday. I recorded the next part that will be airing on the episode 2 days ago. It's Thursday now. I'm recording with you. And then the last part's will be with Tyler that I'm recording tomorrow. So
okay, wait, what shows have you already recorded for?
So this is so weird because it's like the listener doesn't know, but I already recorded something 2 days ago. We did my Dress Up Darling April Showers, With You in the Rain, and Fragrant Flower.
Okay. Are you doing Anne in the next recording?
Yes, with Tyler.
Okay, good. I'm just glad that's getting... I love that. So.
Yeah, spoiler alert for being Tyler's part. I loved Anne Shirley, and we will be talking about that.
Unsurprised if you remember our preview from spring.
Yeah, you said I would absolutely love it, and you were absolutely correct. You couldn't have been more correct.
But, sorry. That's just me choking.
That's just my typical episode.
Yeah, usually it's me being sick, but actually I just choked on nothing. Yeah, so this season, is there anything that you would be like, hey, this isn't one of the big hitters, but feels like you'd like it, Miles?
That you would like it. Man, that's the thing. Because, like, there's a couple shows that I thought it was incredible, but I don't know if you would like it. No.
Okay.
I mean, you like most shows, like you'll find something good out of a show. I guess like maybe hearing your thoughts on Turkey would be fun as shit, but like,
oh, I want to watch Turkey because
I think divisive.
And
we're talking about that with Tyler. So
I would like to get my thoughts on it because, like, to me, believe it or not, listener, I know we like to joke that I don't have fun, but I can have fun.
You can
sometimes. And with something like Turkey, I feel like there's no room for me to misconstrue.
Yeah,
Turkey.
My thing with Turkey is if you kept watching it after the first episode, that's on you.
Okay.
Everything else is on you.
They like go to the past or something, right?
Oh, yeah. They time travel.
Yeah. Okay. Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That has to be good. Literally hanging in the roof.
It has to be fun.
Oh, and I also need to watch Kaiju number 8 season 2 for inevitably when it wins a bunch of country, or when it gets nominated and wins nothing.
I skipped that one this year, even though I heard it was better than season 1. And I like season 1. I just didn't really have. Summer was packed, man.
If you're busy, like, yeah, I get it. Look, I get it.
I mean, my biggest thing with this season was the start of summer of seasonals. I was at AX, and then when I got back to AX, I had to finish all the shows for Shark Tank. So the start summer, I was already like 3 to 4 weeks behind on most shows. So just and then with it being such a stacked season, trying to catch up on like 18 shows it's a first world problem, but it's very time consuming. But I got through essentially everything that I wanted to get through, so that was good. And so we're here to talk about those. Miles, should we start with the first show?
Let's
do it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a show. You want me to start? You start? Me start?
Yeah, you do.
You start?
Please,
me,
you start. You're the
me?
guy. You're the guy. I'm just like the assistant to the guy.
I thought you were the dude. You're the dude.
No, you're
I'm the guy. Okay.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, we got TBHX. A show, when it first started, I wasn't really on anyone's radar. I think the first couple of episodes really started getting the hype going with the nice arc. And that's sort of what got me on board once I started seeing it more on social media and stuff like that, and seeing all the clips and how cool. I mean, it's like Link Click's director. So it had a lot of things going for it that I would be intrigued by. And then sort of the structure of how they are setting up the show, with each character sort of getting this mini arc and turning it into one giant story, which ended up being sort of a prequel. I wouldn't say prequel, but it's sort of like the starting of what I think is going to be a larger franchise. That's the word I was looking for. That's why Miles is here. That's why Miles is the dude and I'm the guy. Because the dude knows his vocabulary. But with all good things comes haters. So that's why Miles is here, because Miles has some words that he's been storing. Because you've done like little blips of what you had issues with 2B Hero, but you've never really stated your overall arching like problem. So I want you to start, and then I'm going to tell you you're wrong, and then you're going to tell me I'm wrong, and then I'm going to edit that out, and then it's all making me look good.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, go for it.
I've had like a tumultuous relationship with 2B Hero X. I don't know if you remember this, but I had sent this in the shows that I wanted to talk about for the spring preview, and you were like, no one cares about the show, we're not doing it. Lo and behold, everyone besides me cares about this show.
Yeah, right?
in a twist of irony. People really liked the Nice arc.
Yes.
I thought the Nice arc looks great. And that's what I think about this show. I think that it's a weird thing, because if you've listened to our Lazarus episode, you will know that plot holes and stuff in that destroyed the entire show for me.
Yes.
It made even some of the more enjoyable parts less enjoyable. It was hard for that to do. 2B Hero X has as many, if not more, plot holes and silly decisions and weird character moments. And for whatever reason, I don't care as much.
Yes! I'm the same way. I think I'm superhero pilled, right? I just like, I watch so many Marvel movies, I'm like, I don't give a shit, like whatever.
Yeah, like I say I don't care as much. I do care.
Yeah.
Because it does upset me. Like, I look at this 8.73 it has on Mal, and like I cringe a little inside, because like it's kind of written like a 3. But then like X goes in between like dimensionality and like what medium he's drawn in, and uses that to fight people, and I'm like, I mean, I get it. like I know why people are giving this 9s and 10s. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, shit was insane.
It was, but I need to say, I had to watch the last episode today because I needed to take a break after the dog episode, because I have so many questions.
You're the only person who doesn't like that episode.
Okay, here's a question I'm going to pose you really quick about the dog episode. The dog gets one trust at the end because its owner trusts him, and then he turns into like the axe throwing dog, right?
The community hero.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before that, he is completely cognizant in his mind. Is this all animals in this universe?
Ooh. Or is he just like he's the Meowth of 2B Hero?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I want to know if like every time someone cooks a burger in this world, they're killing like a fully, not even like a sentient being, but like a human that can't talk.
I'm going to personally not picture that.
Okay.
And I'm going to picture him as like a Meowth type of dog.
So he's like a one of.
Yeah.
And that what a tortured existence he must have lived before he was granted trust and able to speak because of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I loved a lot of the last episode, and then I thought the ending was fucking awful.
Because it like sets up for more, or
no. Okay, I'm gonna watch them fight each other.
Hell
right?
yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, I'm gonna say bad things about the show, and I'm gonna watch more of the show when it comes
that's
out.
Fine.
And I'm gonna have fun.
Hey, no problem.
No, I guess we could talk about it later, but my issue with this is that I thought almost every single arc had, like, massive writing flaws in it. I also think that the core world building is shaky at best.
Agreed.
Yeah, so, tell me I'm wrong here.
No, I think you said it best. Like, I think what you're saying is correct. It's just, do I care?
Yeah, fair enough.
And when it comes to, it's a couple things with like this show. When you're dealing with like superpowers and things like that, I have a lower, like I'm not expecting
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, it's like I'm not expecting this to have like the writing prowess of like a like an Oscar-winning film or a Anime of the Year winning show type of thing. I'm watching superheroes for like the conflict, the fights, the powers, stuff like that. And I think there's a couple things that To Be Hero does well, and there's some misses too, because I think probably some people are going to like other characters more than not. Like, I didn't like Lucky Cyan's arc. I think a lot of people did, but to me, that was like the lowest point.
I wonder what my least favorite one. I liked it. It was stupid. So I get not liking it.
No, for sure. But then there's also characters like Little Johnny, which I thought his arc was going to be dumb, and I ended up really enjoying it.
Oh, see, I thought his arc was really dumb.
See, perfect. And then and then I think the biggest thing was making X sort of this like untouchable number one hero, and then having sort of the power to be that. I think was actually like a really good thing, because a lot of times what you do is when you set up like, like sometimes they do a really good job with like Homelander or something like that, where like he is the strongest. Like there is a reason why.
Horrifying, right?
So like you have to have a character when you're at the top, like cement that, or it's really hard to like buy into like the system. And so X being the top and having like the skill sets to like, okay, it's really easy clearly to see why he is the number one hero was like really well done. But like, these are just the type of shows where I'm just here to have fun. Like, I'm not looking for a cognitive story. I'm not looking for anything that's going to be great. I just want cool fights. I want cool animation because of like Link Click's director. Like, I'm hoping the choreography is going to be great and stuff like that. And it was. So what I was looking for in this show, I got.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know. So like these sort of mildly deconstructive superhero media things, right? Where it's like, here are superheroes, but here is also the gritty underbelly of there's a corporation that runs them, and also not all the superheroes are nice, pun intended.
Nice.
So there's like a lot of that just that I have consumed, and most of it has pretty good writing. Like The Boys TV show, at least for the first few seasons, is very good.
Yep.
Worm is very good. So I sort of wanted that, because I think when you're dealing with these sort of societal issues and stuff that the show does deal with, there's room for that good writing, right? Like, when it's telling me to, think about where sources of power come from and like who actually holds that, and like, because there is some messaging here about how like people are technically empowering these people.
Yes, correct.
And but that is controlled by like a few people at the top that are all sort of rivals but working together. There's a lot to say about society with that, and so I sort of wish it would be a little tighter in that, because I think it could be better.
Yep.
Because I guess I would like a more tight theming and how the world works and the characters' motivations and stuff. Just sometimes we're a bit confused. Lucky Scion plays a electric guitar unplugged in the middle of a thing. I just keep remembering this, and it makes a lot of noise. That's not how they work.
Or maybe
That's
it
not
does.
I
In their world, maybe, who knows?
Sure. So there was. Why did New Soul kill what's her name?
Yeah, I didn't like Isol's arc either. there's some. I think what the thing was with like the mini arcs were like, if you, at least this is for me, I didn't like Lucky Cyan's arc, and then after Lucky Cyan's arc, it moves on to like something new, and I immediately forget what Lucky Cyan was doing. So to me, it was like just like, oh, you didn't like that one? Well, we got a new one for you. I'm like, perfect. It's like watching a seasonal. Like each little mini arc was a new seasonal within it. But I mean, this is one of the best animated shows I think I've seen this year. The music at points was really good. I think it wasn't like the soundtrack was like really good overall, but there were some spots where it definitely stood out. It made fights way better. The Queen fight in particular was just like I don't know. There's so many just incredible fights. Like I just assumed the Queen's fight was going to be the best of the entire series, and then like X's last fight was nuts. What was your oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, every fight in the show is like a fight of the year.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the animation is silly. This has like the production value of, much like Lazarus, is off the charts.
Yes.
On this show. It's got like maybe my favorite ED of the year, which I don't know. I just really like love the messaging and stuff behind it about like what these heroes give up like in order to be in the spotlight and to be like a hero and like all of that. Like I think it fits the intended theme of the show quite well.
Oh, real quick, but that's why the Hero 2 episode of My Hero Academia is my favorite episode of My Hero by like a mile, because of what that song encapsulates of what being a hero is. I was like, yes, incredible stuff. But continue.
Yeah, were you going to ask me what my favorite fight was?
Or like, I guess, because we mentioned some of the arcs. Did you have like a favorite arc that stood out to you?
Yeah, so, God, this is a little tough for me because I kind of have the same problem with almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, I had fun, but also secretly hate all of them. And not even that secretly. I think Lolly's is maybe my favorite, though there are some issues with it. The Queen's is a little too short.
100% like too short.
Yeah.
Well, like I feel like she's gonna be like the character for the next season, though.
She feels she has
Lolly.
Like main character sort of energy, and her power is cool. And Lucky Cyan too, right? Like she's friends with Lucky Cyan. They're like really close. Her, Lucky Cyan, and little Johnny. I'm just trying to think like, because out of all of the writing issues and like the longer arcs that I would probably pick. I'd have to go back and watch Lin Ling's because there were some stuff that I sort of was like, they won't answer this, and they might have. But there was also things that I was like, they won't answer this, and they didn't. Because they sort of dropped. Remember how it was like a big thing about what people wanted the heroes to do? And that more or less goes away. Like, it doesn't completely go away, but like, Ghostblade can't speak, but like other than that, it just sort of disappears, right? Like, and that was weird. It was weird. The whole thing was a little bit weird. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Lolly's arc is maybe my favorite. She's like an engineer. I'm kind of like a sciencey person. She had like a fun little dynamic with her dad where you could sort of see both sides of that whole scenario. And like her dad's a cool guy, but maybe overprotective of his daughter. But like he gave her friend a chance, and everything. So like, I liked all that. What was your favorite? Was yours nice, or was there something after the fact?
Because like Lolly ended up being my favorite character, but I don't know if she was my favorite arc. I did really like Nice's arc. I just think how they set up the show with Nice was like a great way to draw people in, and I think.
And I guess for clarity, specifically Lin Ling, right, is what.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm just so dumb at the Nice arc.
Yes.
But like
I actually did like Nice's arc.
Yeah, the first 4
sort of,
episodes. Yeah.
Oh, I mean even the last 4 episodes.
Oh, sure, yeah.
What happened to Nice?
Yes.
But then he was alive at the end, and I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever.
Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it's the review.
No.
Yeah. But like, I will be watching more. Like, I'm not exactly sure how the top 10 hero things worked because Nice fucking died, and he wasn't a top 10 hero. And then he was still alive, but then he just shows up at the tournament. Like, here I am in the top 10.
I thought he was.
He dies. There's no way people still. He's in the top 10. So was his corpse? Are they going to parade that out there?
And then they have the fake Nice, and then they keep his reputation.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm not nice. I'm a secretary. And then he like beats up the guy with fear.
Yep.
And like, even though he's all like feared out, and like
Feared
that.
Out.
Yeah, and like fear like crushes like top tier heroes. This guy with like 43 trust is like, I'm in love.
Okay, Miles. Moment of truth. What do you give the show out of a 10?
I can't. Okay, I'm between two scores. I'm between a 5 and a 6. It's tough for me. Oh God.
Give it a 5. Be a hater.
Okay. I'll give it a 5.
Right.
I was gonna say 6, but yeah, you know what? I will. I was gonna say Queen exists, so therefore it is a 6. But so you like the Little Johnny arc?
I did like Little Johnny.
See, why? Okay, I want to make this clear. I like Little Johnny. Little Johnny is very stupid though.
Oh, for sure. That's why he's called Little Johnny, and he's like 16.
He's like, this guy killed my dad. Do you have any evidence?
He's 28.
No.
I did not know he was 28.
Johnny's 28. That's not true.
According to Mal, he's 28 years old.
That's a lie. I mean,
source TBHX Wiki. Unless they're lying to me, would the TBHX Wiki lie to me?
Probably. Mal tells me. Oh, source to be okay. Yeah.
So you gave it a 5.
Yeah, and you're giving this a.
You want to guess?
9?
9. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
I was my number one thing is entertainment. If this is a type of show where it is made to make me be entertained, and I was, the production value is off the charts. Just some arcs.
It really was.
Some of the arcs fell flat for me. I did not like Lucky Cyan arc like at all. Isol was like whatever. There's a couple of just like whatevers, even though there was a couple that were like fantastic. Queen's arc could have been way better. I think if it got like one more episode, I think it could have greatly improved that. But this was a great show.
Outfit though.
Oh, dude, whole design. Is...
Every outfit. Oh my god, the pilgrim outfit, the fucking Protoss outfit she's wearing at the end.
Yeah,
oh my god. Oh my god.
You
know what? I'm looking at Nice's picture right now, like this very sinister looking Nice. I'm pro Nice. I've decided I want him to win.
Okay.
Now, you might did he do anything that bad?
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of questions I have about him. How did they use fear to make him the perfect hero? How did that happen? Because they just say that, and I wanted to know how.
Maybe we'll find out in season 2. Probably not, but you never know.
How come fear came from an alien spaceship, but also trust didn't?
Alien.
But they're opposites.
Aliens.
What about the aliens?
Aliens.
That never... Okay, maybe we'll find out in season 2.
Maybe, but probably not. But Miles, we got one more show we gotta get through with me and you.
Yes.
We talked too much about newbie hero, not newbie hero, newbie hero.
I talk way more, but yeah.
I know we can, and you know where else we can? Our Discord. Links to that in the description below. You want to talk newbie hero? But we're gonna talk City the animation, and this is another show that you have thoughts on. You went first last time. I'm gonna give my thoughts.
Please do.
Okay, it's gonna be impossible not to compare this to Nishijo. Like art style, creator. everything Kyoto Animation at the helm. It was a parent of Nishijo, or the offspring of Nishijo. And there were some elements of this that I liked, and there's some elements that I didn't like compared to each other. Just like the cast with Nishijo, it seemed like it was a much smaller and tighter cast. This was more of a bigger cast, which I think could have been a little bit of a detriment, because I'll be honest, I didn't really remember the names of everybody. Where in Nishijo I could. So I would say that though the cast was big and fun, it was harder to like cement like a character to City, because I think the main characters are supposed to be Wako, Nagumo, and the other girl. I forgot her. Like I said, I don't remember their name.
Mikura.
But like they're kind of not in the picture as much as I would like, and what that did was other characters I was like gravitating towards way more. Like the two girls, the one that had to go to England, they were like my favorite bit.
Mine too.
Yeah, they were so much fun. Like their whole the diversity of them being like funny, heartwarming, sad, fun, like everything. They brought everything to the table. I just thought how their friendship was great. But then you had like characters like the rich girl who was like enamored with like the
I thought she was funny.
She was funny, but like it wasn't like noticeable. So how I started like describing City is like, instead of it being like a comedy, it was more of like a slice of life where shit is just happening. But it was just a lot of times it was just like funny stuff that they were doing. So
this is so interesting. Wait, can I say my opinion really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So my opinion is this wasn't enough slice of life and it was too much comedy.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about it, because
actually I don't want to do that.
Okay. Did you want to continue wrapping up your initial thoughts and then we can get into that?
I
think that would be interesting. Okay, cool. Sorry for interrupting you, but I wanted to say that. Cause...
Initial thoughts, I guess, would just be Kyoto Animation back at it. They're an S-tier studio for a reason, and I really enjoyed the OP. I thought it set a great tone for the show. Okay, Miles, your thoughts?
Yeah. So my issue with City is that I really liked all of the characters. Like, even the ones we got for little bits, and I do agree that there were, like, a lot, so it was hard to super attach to people, but, like, that main trio was good. You know, the two best friends, as you mentioned, are good. I liked the boy and the rich girl and her, like, butler.
Yeah.
Like, in the race, when he just, like, has the sniper rifle.
That was my favorite episode.
Okay. And, that makes sense.
Wait, but not because of the sniper rifle, just for reference.
It was a fun episode.
Okay. Let's not get any allegations out
there. For me, the issue was that these characters were busy doing bits 97% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for me, if something missed, they just kept going. And they kept doing that with things I liked too.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. It's a little tough when it's like, I don't think this bit's that great. And then it goes on and like builds on itself the way that it does. Like the shogi match bit.
They use like a tempura as a chess piece or a shogi piece.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I don't know. I didn't think it was funny.
I thought that scene was, I'm not even kidding you, one of like the 3 funniest scenes in the show. I thought it was so funny.
Duality of man.
Oh, the twisted knight. Oh, he counters with a twisted rook or something. It's like, what is going on?
He also had a twisted knight, and that's why his heart rate didn't increase because. But like to me, it just like kept going.
Sure, I get that.
And like because like I don't know, I didn't think it was funny, and so the fact that was like just a random 7-minute scene sort of took me out. And the plus side of that is when you had the funny bits, right? They kept going, but like, I don't know. I didn't need that episode where they were like stuck in a building and they had to like fight people as they go down levels or whatever. Like, it was a little too absurd for me. I wish it was a little more grounded, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Though you are actually Midori, and I don't know if you realize this as you were.
I'm Midori?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I kind of get those vibes, but I mean, I
So-
think that's a compliment.
Non-derogatory. So she has some flaws that you don't have, right? Like you're about that hustle. Like you'll grind it out.
I will.
And Midori is a gambling addict, and that's what I meant.
Oh.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm going to Vegas for the 9th time in December?
Yes.
Yeah. That checks out, actually. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense.
This
Do
is
I have a
another
problem?
example. So, can I ask you about a specific bit? The horse race bit.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the Uma.
Okay, so that went on too long for me.
Yeah, right. They like rip
Okay.
up the tickets and then they put the tickets back together and then all these other things. I know exactly what you mean with like all your complaints because
Okay.
there are some bits, especially when it deals with like I think like the older dudes that were in the show, their bits I didn't find like super funny. But like what City does is has other elements to make it so it's just enjoyable to watch. Like it's so pretty. Like it's so creative and like so many different aspects where if I wasn't finding a bit funny, I'd be like looking around to see if they have any like funny bits because like there was one where like when one of the girls was like doing her like YouTube thing with like her morning routine and there was like a picture of a poster that just said pawn and it was a piece of bread. And like that shit to me is funny. So like if the bit isn't hitting, there are still like these little things that I'm finding that are funny or are enjoyable. And that's what City did for me, at least to keep my attention when the bits were maybe necessarily not the funniest thing for me. But for me, more than anything, I guess it was just like it was consistently funny enough for me to like really enjoy the show. I don't know if it's better than Nishijo. It's probably like on par. But like I said earlier, there's some parts that I did like about it more than Nishijo, and there's some parts that I didn't.
Yeah. What I'll say about this is I think, some people will love this, but I think the majority of people will enjoy this show, but not a ton of people will like adore it because I think there's just okay. Does that make sense?
I don't think it's going to be to the level of what Nishijo is, but it is nice to have, that secondary option if you want it, and it is still a really good show. But like, there's no suplexing deer scene, stuff like that. However, I will say episode 5 of City was. If you're a freaking production nerd, that was insane. Like paneling doesn't exist in anime, but if it did have a aspect of what I think paneling would be, it would be whatever episode 5 was. That was such a treat to just watch animators go fucking ballistic. Like that episode was nuts. And it was just them doing random shit.
Yeah, I do like the show. I had a good time. I'm not sad that I watched it or anything. I just sometimes I was like a bit bored or got tired. The horse thing, they rip up the ticket, and then it's like I thought it was so funny when they were like, because the horse is trying so hard, we're going to let it back in.
Yep.
And I was like, that is hilarious. But then I thought that was going to be like 90% of the way through the bit. And that was like the halfway point.
Yep. No.
And then Death Machine was a robot, and I was like, that's kind of funny. And then they were like, also this horse is a gazelle.
A gazelle.
And
they even mentioned it. Okay. They said like, oh, we should have noticed when it had horns.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was just like they like iterated on themselves like a little too much as they were going. But I did find it very funny at the beginning. But I think that is like the core issue I have with it. What I don't have an issue with is, I don't know, the soul, the spirit, the heart of this show is very great, right? I don't know if you felt like this way, but I don't know. I just thought all the characters were very sincere, and they showed friendship in a good way, right? Like the 3 main girls who are all like kind of evil to each other, but like still clearly very good friends.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
they're all friends.
Like, like when she loses that photo contest, but then is like, "Wait, you thought I was gonna win, so you're making like the that sort of like, wait, I still get the money thing. And I don't know. I just thought everyone was like a very easy to empathize with and sincere character, right?
Yeah.
Like even the characters who were kind of all the characters had bits, but none of the major characters at least were solely their bit.
Yeah.
And I think that is important in a gag comedy, believe it or not. So, that was my thought.
Sure. Yeah, right on. So, what would you give City?
I gave City a 7 out of 10.
Okay, I'll take that. I gave it an 8. That's what I gave Nishijo. I think it's really good, and I'm glad I watched it. And I mean, if it wasn't for, I don't even know, because like I'm trying to think of like what I think is like the best animated show of the year, and I think City is like top, I don't know, 4. So I gotta try to determine what I think is the best animation. But they had so many cool scenes with like episode 5. There's one where Nikura was like on her moped, and it was like a first person thing that she did. I was just like, they just went like Kyoto Animation was just flexing the whole time.
I know I just gave the show a 5, but it's got to be 2 here. Be Hero Expert. It is the dog episode, which I was just shitting all over. They do it like a comic book style in like parts, and they also do like sort of like the paneling and like the lines and like with like the dots and everything. I don't know. I liked the animation in both of them, but City I thought was sort of like a very consistent thing, and it had some wow moments, but like the peaks of To Be Hero, just because we talked about both those shows, to me was just and every time X is on screen, it oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, they're both best.
They're both
year.
amazing.
Yeah,
I think it just sort of depends on. I'm not like the production nerd that you are. I'm not like, ooh, this is impressive because I know the technical thing. I like the colors and the boom boom boom. You know, so
that's me with To Be Hero. Oh, this is cool! Explosion 10. Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, I've took up too much of your time. And we actually talked like for like 30 plus minutes about 2 shows, which is insane because we normally do like 12 minutes a show. So, Miles, thank you for watching 2 shows and coming on.
You're so welcome, Pete.
any parting words to your adoring fan?
Hi, Mom.
That's it?
I think I make that joke every time you make that joke.
Yes,
so.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, so that's the end of Miles, and now we're going to transition it over to me and Nick. Thank you, Miles, for joining me. We are moving on to our next section. We are Frankensteining this episode. Joining me is Mr. Sora himself, from the host of the Waifus and Weeaboos podcast. So, Sora, you have technically been on this podcast before, but for those who don't know who you are, you want to give a quick explanation of who you are and what you do?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. First and foremost, I appreciate it. And my name is Nick, and I run the Waifus and Weeaboos podcast. I don't put out as much content as this podcast, but it was a fun thing to get started during COVID, and you get episodes every once in a while, and here I am today talking about some shows from the summer season, the banger summer season that we had.
Very much so. I'd love to get your take on what you think of the best was, but we're going to do a little bit of like a romance block here, and then sprinkle in some slice of life. So we're going to start first with, I think, the most anticipated romance of the season, and it's a show I believe that we both read, at least most of it, or part of it, which is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Absolutely, this is just another show to cement Cloverworks as Studio of the Year. I think they absolutely knocked out this adaptation. I think the voice actors for the sub specifically did a really good job. I had problems with the dub, but being locked in Netflix jail sort of had its problems, but the word got out, and this did end up getting pretty popular and people searching it out. So, Nick, I guess what's your thoughts on The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity?
So, as you had just said, we both had read the manga for this, and this is one of those shows that I was waiting in anticipation. I don't think a lot of people expected it to be as good as it was, but you have a solid cast of young teenage characters who are, kind of in like a Romeo and Juliet kind of style of romance, but not as severe, like they're not killing each other, but definitely like a little bit Romeo and Juliet-esque. But again, this cast of characters is I thought it was just tremendous. I thought the voice actors did a great job. Wagari's VA in Japanese was fantastic. I thought Rentaro was fantastic. This is one of those stories that people, it's rare to get both a fantastic mom and a fantastic dad character in the same story. And this story, and to go even further, like we have it, like, spoiler alert to those who have not watched it yet. We have not met Kadeko's mom yet. We have not met Wagari's mother, and I'll just hopefully save that for season 2. But I had high expectations for this. Being a manga reader, my expectations were like, I don't set my expectations that high, but how much I love this story, my expectations were high for this show, and they nailed everything. Like, Cloverworks delivered on everything. I thought the opening and ending were fantastic. I thought the voice actors were fantastic. Art and animation was fantastic. For a romance show like this, yeah, you don't have to go all out with the art and animation, but there was just scenes that I was just taken aback from. And I mean, I'll give a little spoiler alert. This not only was this my favorite show of the season, I thought this was the best season.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to my favorite romance of the season.
I hit you. I hit it with the right hook fast. I get it. I hit it fast. I know we might have been saving it for later on. When you start with, in my opinion, when you start with the best, like, I got to let you know, like, I thought this was, and we already talked about it before, like, as soon as the introduction started, like, this season was a banger. This season was a banger for anime.
It really was. And I think, like, sort of what sets this apart from other romances, I think you mentioned it, was the cast. And I think what they do a great job in this story is how much they rely on the supporting characters for the main couple's relationship goals, because that's like a real thing that doesn't get explored as much as, getting input from your friends and getting sort of like, having that talk when you were in that age of sort of like cementing your feelings. If this is what we're actually feeling, is this person like right for me? And it's like, you go to your friends for that, but then there's also, you mentioned it with the parents, that side of it as well, because this is a huge moment, and you normally want to share it with people when you find like your first crush and stuff like that in high school, and share that with your parents. And it was really fun to see that interaction with them. So I thought they knocked it out of the park with that. I think more than anything, what Fragrant Flower is, as a manga reader, is that this is setting up more for what's to come. And so while I really enjoyed what we got from the anime, my enjoyment for Fragrant Flower more comes into the later parts, and when the fragrant flower blooms and we see more of a story. So this is just I thought this was a fantastic just introduction to the cast and the story. Hopefully we get season 2 announcements soon. I give this show an 8. What did you give it?
Ah, man. So my ratings are, I kind of go a little bit different with ratings. So I have my Mal ratings, which I'll go on, which, I give out 10s like, I'm like Oprah. I give out 10s like I'm Oprah.
Same.
So I gave it a 10 on my anime list, but I like to give like a more like average score, like, it's like, hey, check out this show because it's a 9, and here I am. I have it as a 9.
Okay. 8,
so I gave Fragrant Flower. Yeah.
Right on. 8 from me and a 9 from Nick. We're going to move on to my favorite romance of the season, possibly of the year, which is April Showers Brings May Flowers. A story that I thought on paper coming into it looked cute and fun and bubbly, but I did not expect to enjoy the show as much as I did. It gave me heavy Kimi ni Todoke vibes, just with a character sort of finding themselves as who they really want to be. Hana, the character, wanting to be more girlish, but because of how she views herself, she thinks is more of a nuisance, or maybe doesn't think she could pull it off, so she doesn't. And then towards the end, we sort of get this relationship with her and sort of the other rival with I'll just say Sumire because her last name is too hard to pronounce. But the thing that stood out to me more than anything with April Showers was how funny the show was, because a lot of the setups where it's a misinterpretation, it's a misconception of the situation or what somebody said, and you can only play that joke so much before it can kind of get repetitive. But April Showers seemed to do a really just great way of making the punchline for these situations always making me laugh. And I think that's sort of what set it apart from other shows, with just the chemistry with the cast, my love for just like having characters develop and find themselves, and just the show being an absolute just hilarious side-splitting comedy. So, Nick, what were your thoughts on April Showers?
I love this show. I thought that this show was gonna be like just your regular cute and like nice romance show between like the quote unquote ugly girl, but it turned into something more, because with these types of shows, like, I expect our main heroine to like have some sort of physical change to her, whether it's, you know, getting a haircut or like losing glasses or like getting skinny or something like that, and that never happened. And I just loved Hana like more and more as each of these episodes went on, because she stayed true to herself. She did not change for anybody else. Like, she was who she is. And the fact that like Ueno, it's more Ueno developing his feelings for her throughout the show than it is Hana developing her feelings for him throughout the show. That, along with another great set of parents for Hana's parents, I love this show. I think it's criminally underrated.
Agreed. I think this is probably my most underrated show of the year so far. And so like you mentioned it, like Ueno's, his discovery was just like, he's the popular kid, and he's probably had girls ask him out a bunch of times, and he's always turned them down. And so now as the popular kid, when you sort of have the not popular girl, you start to develop feelings. You have like that social pressure that we saw before in this show, where it's like, well, you're cooler than her, you shouldn't date her. And it's all about the characters themselves solving these problems, whether it's like the social constructs of high school or just like the physical attributes of their character. It's handled with like grace and humility. Like they felt like genuine people trying to navigate their way through their problems, even if they're not like super major problems. But like Hana could have had so many instances of being a character who lashes out, or goes and does things that like would be justified, I feel like, with some of the I'm not gonna say like abuse, but sort of like the things that are said about her and done to her. But she handles it with just like pure grace. And so it's a character that I like gravitate towards, and I want to see good things happen to it. And this is also the type of show where when it's all said and done, I'm gonna go read the manga. And I started, since the anime covered about 2/3. So I'm gonna be finishing up the manga when I have some more free time. But I just thought the show was fantastic. In terms of like the emphasis of romance, I thought this is one of the best of the year. Like production wise, it was fine. I don't really care too much about it, but like, you know, they have Sayori Hayami as Hana. Like, come on, like we're good. So loved it. So I gave this show a 9. It was damn near. It was so good. What'd you give it?
I have it as an 8. Like a high 8. I've had a high 8.
We take those.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get to our last romance of this block, and it's also my anime of the season, which is My Dress Up Darling Season 2. And you're like, wait, isn't this also a romance? Yeah, but like I feel like this season wasn't really too much focused on the development, which is something I wanted to talk about, because I always bring up roadblocks and shonen romances, and it drives me crazy. We had this with Blue Box, that it takes, you know, hundreds of chapters to get to where it needs to go for our confession, and it's something that drives me crazy. But so why does something like My Dress Up Darling gets the pass? And so I was thinking about it, and my whole thing with My Dress Up Darling is that the episodes more than likely are not focused on the goal of them getting together. It's hardly in their mind. Even when Marin has those thoughts, it's more of the times where It's her and Gojo alone, but it's still like the emphasis and the focus of the show is centered around cosplaying and sort of like the community and emphasis around it being that. So when the messages of the episodes are portraying that, I don't find roadblocks too bad in the show. It also happens that my dress up drawing, their roadblocks are hilarious. This season where Marin thought that Gojo was buying condoms, but was actually buying energy drinks and stuff like that, where it's like, that is funny. Like that's fine for a roadblock. My roadblocks that I get huge like issues with is when like, hey, we're making good development. The third childhood friend appears out of nowhere or something along those lines. Like Dress Up Darling doesn't do that. There's no like rival. There's no other person. And so it's just like when you encapsulate that with a show that's showing passion about cosplaying, it just makes it perfect. My season 1 review, I said that there's no way this show was going to give above a 9. And my Dress Up Darling raised the level on everything from season 1, which was already so good. So I just thoroughly enjoy this season. Nick, what were your thoughts on my Dress Up Darling season 2?
Well, first and foremost, I think you nailed everything in terms of like roadblocks when it came to romance anime. I think the show did a phenomenal job with balancing the romance with kind of what the show is about, and that's self-development by Marin, Gojo, and some of these other characters. I gotta be honest, my favorite moment in the show came in episode 3 when we got introduced to our cross-dressing cosplayer, Amane, and he's telling us, you know, he's telling Gojo and Marin like his backstory of like his girlfriend and like her finding out like his hobby, and Marin just is like pissed off, and I just thought that scene was like incredible because not only was great voice acting, but it's like you're going to disrespect somebody's hobby just because like it's quote unquote out of the norm, like, and that moment for me, like I loved Marin and Gojo as characters to begin with, but like her, like to see like her like get angry like that, like upset and angry, like she like earned like a special place in my heart after that. I do like how they tackled like the cross-dressing cosplayers aspect of the show. Later on, we get Aira. I thought she was an excellent addition to the show, making cosplay props. Her working with Gojo, I thought that was cool. But yeah, I think season 2, I expected it to be at the same level as season 1, and I just think I think it surpassed it.
Yeah, I agreed, and that's why I can't give it a 9. I'm just like, this is a 10 for me. It's one of the best shows of the year. I feel like I'm a little bit of a My Dress Up Darling defender, especially in our Discord sometimes. But man, this show has so much heart. Like, yeah, whatever. There's some like etchy moments, and I don't find it an issue with this show. But like, this show has so much heart. It has so much passion like surrounding it that you make lovable characters and a lovable supporting cast, and you have a recipe for something incredible. So yeah, 10 for me. Probably a top 5 show of the year.
Yeah, I think I think it being a cosplay show and them using fan service for measurements and for the, you know, that stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that Marin is okay with like her sexuality. Like she knows she's beautiful. And I think that only adds to the allure of like, okay, like it's not creepy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love season 2. I gave it a 9.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Let's get to our last show that I will be talking with Nick with. And this is the show that involves his son. So he's going to get some time with it. And that is With You and the Rain. Another Sayori Hayami lead. And just a great comfort show. The best thing that I loved about this show was sort of the contrast between Fuji and you when they were together versus Fuji and everybody else. And so we sort of had like this tale of two tapes, because I kind of feel like I live a similar life where I do like my peace and quiet. And having that exclusive. Oh my God, I can't say the word. That's why you have editing.
Exclusion.
No, being exclusive with like one other person, or like a close family member or a close friend. Like that's the person that you lean on with when it's like you time. And then you sort of have the more openness when you're with like a larger group of friends or your family. And I really like showcasing that in this story, because I feel like I live a similar life like Fuji did. You was such a great little pet, and sometimes he was a little bit of a gremlin, but most of the time he was like a warm, loving dog, because he called himself a dog, so he's a dog. This was just, I mean, we've had so many good slice of life this year. This is just another one that adds to the collection. This is going to be on Slice of Life, of the year nominations. Just an overall really good slice of life that we need more of when it includes pets. I think we need more to see more of this trend. So, Nick, you give me your thoughts on With You in the Rain.
So, as you mentioned, this show featured my son, Yu. I loved him from start to finish. I love dogs, so that adds to the mix. And yes, he's a dog. He's not a tanuki. He's not a raccoon. He's a dog. But I think the hidden message in this show was that we need to, like, when life's got you down, rely on somebody.
Yeah.
Help somebody, And I think the show, what I loved is that we had episodes 1 through 12, and then they added episode 0 at the end. And episode 0 really put the show in perspective for me, because we see everything leading up to Fuji adopting Yu, where she has some writer's block. She doesn't know what she wants to do in life. Yeah, she's got support from her family, but even then it's like, cool, you're making me my favorite meal. I don't know. I just want to go home. I've got a lot on my mind. And then she meets an elderly woman. I think she was blind. And it kind of, I for me personally, it felt like her problems, like what she was dealing with, were not, like, they failed in comparison to like what this woman is dealing with. Having her granddaughter take care of her, having poor vision, now not having an umbrella in the rain, and Fuji just giving her that umbrella. Like, I think, like, that was the point of the story, is to, like, just like do unto others. That's how I saw it. Along with it just being a nice, comfortable anime that you could just, that I'll tell, because I think you had dealt with this as well. I love the fact that this show aired in the summertime, because like I had like multiple rainstorms during this show, and it was just like, yeah, let's just kick back, open the window, and watch, With You in the Rain. And it was a vibe, dude. It was a vibe watching the show. But yeah, we need to have more slice of life shows with animals. We need to have more slice of life shows with animals and adults.
Yes.
Please. But yeah, I love this show. Very comfy, very adorable. I gave it a 9. I'm throwing out 9s left and right.
The season was great. I mean, I gave it an 8. There's a lot to talk about. I really enjoyed like her adult friend group that we got later on, with them going like bowling. You see Fuji, who is like calm and collective. When they start bowling, the competitive side comes out of her. But like you mentioned, that there was like that episode 0 to sort of like tie in everything that the show was revolving around, and I thought that was such a nice touch. It was such a great way to just sort of encapsulate the entire show as a whole, because like I doubt this covered everything in the manga, but like, oh no, the manga's still going crazy. But like, I guess in terms of like in terms of like a first just like overview and like first maybe 2 arcs of this, really good. Yeah, I gave it an 8. So one of the better slice of lives of the year. Yeah, I'm just really. I mean, I doubt we'll get a season 2, but I would love just similar style
No,
shows.
absolutely not.
No. So, we have reached the end of our block. I want to say thank you, Nick. I will leave links to all of his podcasts and stuff, everything. But do you have any parting words before we head out?
Follow the What Do You Say Anime podcast on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify. Join the Discord. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Nick.
It.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you for coming by. And we're gonna be joining our next guest. We'll toss it over to me and Tyler. So see ya.
Sakana!
And we are back to our next segment. Thank you so much to Nick for helping me out. And one more person that's gonna be helping me out. He is the host of the Anime Degens Podcast. We have Tyler. Tyler, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody out there that maybe doesn't know you?
Yeah, so I'm Tyler, one of the hosts for Anime Degens Podcast. Y'all might know me from our fantasy football ghost thing where I had to watch Bakugan.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. Not really, but here I am. But yeah, that's just me. Just I love anime, so
yeah, yes,
I was
you
talking
do.
about anime.
You're one of the rare people that I think that watches more than me and likes it more than me. So it's nice to have another fellow anime lover on the podcast. And if you like Tyler, if you like his thoughts, everything like that, I'll leave links to his channel and his podcast in the description below. But Tyler, we're here to talk anime, so let's do it. So we're going to dive into probably the most popular, most anticipated show and sequel of summer, and that was Dandadan Season 2. And to no surprise, it continued with the quality that we were expecting. The production budget was through the charts. A lot more, I would say it seemed more action focused this season, especially with how the season started and how the season ended. So we're definitely getting more into the nitty gritty and less of more of building the chemistry of the cast, even though we did get some new people. I thought that we kind of had a good cemented cast and that they're going to start doing more and more things. This season had a bunch of high moments for me. I don't know if there was any low moments, to be honest, but I think there's a lot of things that you could pick out, whether it was the fights, whether it was the animation. But my favorite scene and my favorite episode of Dandadan was the headbanger. I think it was episode 6. I just thought that episode was so much fun, and that's what Dandadan encapsulates. Is it does a whole bunch of different things, but at the end of the day, normally the the episodes are fun. So Tyler, what were your thoughts on season 2 of Dandadan?
So that was actually my favorite part of the season 2 was the I guess you could call it the rock concert. I'm not sure. I don't even really vibe with that kind of shit in real life, but that was a really cool time. Not often do you get to see anime bring that kind of atmosphere into a show, so and do it that well. It's not only did we have the whole concert thing, we had Evil Eye's background story, flashback stuff going on. You wanted to rock out, but there was tears in your eyes, or at least in my experience. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, I do feel like that this season was more action packed. I think we got 4 different big fights, or
it was a lot. It seemed like a lot.
If you look back at it, it's crazy to think that the whole Evil Eye and the giant worm and all that stuff happened this season.
That was the first 2 episodes. It happened,
yeah.
Which is actually, if I did have a detriment to the season, because I've read part of the manga. I probably read the first 100 chapters. And that was my favorite part of the manga. Excuse me. That arc. It did seem a little rushed, but it's also, I'm biased because Gigi's my favorite character. So whenever he gets more time to shine, it definitely raises its score for me. But I thought it was still good. Don't get me wrong. And they're also, I guess, for as much as I loved the headbanger episode, there really wasn't an Arco Silky episode this year to make it stand out, which is fine because that episode was just phenomenal and one of the best of the years. But it having 12 extremely solid episodes, I guess you don't really need it, but I think it would have been nice to have like a cherry on top with the season, sort of like what we did with season 1 with Arco Silky. But I mean, the show itself was just phenomenal. I guess a couple things that maybe stood out to me. It's like it's so impossible, but like, how did you feel about like the OPs and EDs? Because coming from season 1, those were like omega bangers. This one kind of fell by the wayside. Did you have any thoughts on that?
So like obviously like I really loved especially the OP of last season. It was, it was a straight up banger.
Yeah.
This season, like I was okay with it. But then for some reason my Instagram algo kept on recommending me videos of the singer just going hard on it. And I'm just like, man, this actually bangs. But it's not as good as the first one, but like it was one of my top OPs I think of this season just because of the Instagram like experience, I guess.
Sure, yeah. You got so
like
so
it
much
does something to you.
exposure or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just her and like the audio, like the booth, just doing her thing.
Yeah.
And like she sounds amazing. I forget who it is, like
Aina
Anna
the
or
end? Yeah.
yeah. Like the main girl, like she like her voice just sounds just amazing. So but yeah, the ED
Like it was
I
fine,
don't remember
right?
it.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So but the OP I remember it. It's one of my tops. So
It reminded me a lot of like Oshinoko season 2, where it's like, even if you have an incredible OP, even if last year it was like considered probably one of the best of the year. It's just like, yeah, but it's not idle. And so like, I felt like when you have like something along the lines of what Dandadan did in season 1 with Otonoke, it's hard, but like, it's also great because I think that song got people into this franchise, so it's a win-win overall. So I was gonna say that, but I guess getting back into season 2 of Dandadan and sort of like the content that it had, I'm trying to think, because like when we have these properties, I felt like, I don't know, maybe this is just a me thing and knowing that I've read it, but like I thought like the chemistry between the cast was like elevated so well that it felt more of like a core friend group, even in the short amount of time that we've got. And I think that's a testament to like how Dandadan writes like its friend groups and how it writes characters. So that was a huge standout to me, with like you said, the Evil Eye and Gigi's sort of little arc that we got, and then him sort of being more encapsulated, and then Arya and Momo still having like their bickering fights. But like, to me it sort of feels like big sister, little sister, because it's like Momo is allowed to like pick on Arya and like fight her, but like no one else can. And we saw that a little bit with like Momo coming to the defense of Arya, and then vice versa. So huge shout out to the cast. Yeah, and honestly, this season was great. Did you have any like final thoughts before we give our ratings on Dandadan?
So like I really like I'm not as big a fan of Gigi as you are, I guess, but I'm a huge fan of Evil Eye. I really love Evil Eye, and like the time that he got to spend in like the in the real world, I guess. Like I didn't expect that. I didn't expect them to let him just like go to school and shit. Like that's really cool. He's just like doing just stupid stuff all the time, and it's so funny. One thing I noticed a lot. I want to know what you think is the new character. I guess I'm assuming he's supposed to be joining possibly.
Oh
the friend
yeah,
group,
yeah. I think
Kinta?
I think
Yeah.
because this is like when he joins the manga, that's pretty much where I stopped. So
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with how he is, but he seems like he's going to be an integral part of the team, along with the new space girl or alien girl that we got at the end.
And see, I thought that maybe she was going to join too. I mean, why else would you,
I mean, I feel like she's going to, right?
Yeah. I mean, she has to, but I've seen a lot of like discourse around Kinta. Like people don't like him for some reason. I think he's pretty cool. Like he offers like a really cool perspective to Okarun, right? Because like Okarun and him is kind of similar, but they're also not. So they're the same type of person. It's just different spectrums of that person.
Yeah, right.
Plus he's funny. So
yeah, because Okarun more was like he was wearing it on his sleeve. Like in class, he was reading like his UFO books and stuff like that, where Kenta kind of seems like he's trying to create the perfect person, like like a RPG create a character where like he's not really true to himself, which would be fine because we can see that later in the series to see if he has like that development. But I'm surprised people don't like him. Maybe it's just because he's like the fat otaku character, but like I liked him what he did in the kaiju fight. Like that was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
like he provided a role to the team, and so I like that.
Somebody's got to pilot the mech, and it's not gonna be me. So, but yeah, the only other thing that I got is like, what the hell happened to Turbo Granny after the whole training montage?
They're just chilling, man. Yeah, a lot of people are just chilling. It seems like the nano machines are out, and everyone's just chilling.
Like I really wanted to. It kind of disappointed me though, for real. Like when Turbo Granny wasn't in the mech, that she didn't get a part. Like she didn't get her chance to control the mech too. I feel like that would have been like very funny.
That would have been great.
But other than that, like I do think that this cliffhanger at this end of the season wasn't as bad as last season.
Right? Can't be worse than that.
It was still a shocker. Like, you look away from Okarun for 5 seconds and you come back and, he's locked lips with some chick, that just hopped out of a kaiju suit or whatever. And I'm just like, what?
Yep.
But I mean, like, I'm okay with that. That's a pretty good ending, unlike last time. It was horrible. So yeah, I actually knocked it down from 10 to 9 last time just because of that finale.
Yeah, that would have been way worse if we didn't know that we were getting more content. But the cliffhanger for season 1 was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me! Like the real end there. This one felt more like normal. And like we can tell where it's setting up type of thing. We know exactly what to expect when we hop into season 3. Where I think if you didn't read the manga, didn't really know what to expect for season 2, and leaving that on a cliffhanger was something, that's for sure. But let's get to our final scores. I gave season 1 a 9. I'm gonna give season 2 a 9. I think it was great. It's one of the better shows of the season. I don't know if it's gonna be in my top 10 of the year, but it's probably gonna be hovering in like that top 10 range for me. Fantastic season. I liked it a little bit more than season 1, but didn't have like what I was looking for in order to bump it up to a 10, but it was still a 9. It was still a fantastic show. How about you?
Yeah, same for me. I got it at a 9. Like I said, the first season, I felt like I could have gave it a 10. The finale just really pissed me off. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. But I liked the first season a lot more because it had that more emotion. It had a lot more emotional connection. Yep. I really liked that. And Dandadan, I think it does it really well. This season, it was more high octane action, which I love, yep. But I just couldn't give it a 10 just because, like it just didn't have that same feeling that I got from last season, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. And especially this season where, spoiler alert for you, since you haven't, I gave my Dress Up Darling a 10 because like what because I gave season 1 a 9. And, when you see the second season, when you have like an established property, it needs to do things in order for me to like, bump it up. And I thought my Dress Up Darling did it this season. I thought Dandadan just continued with what it does, which is fantastic. So yeah, big fan of Dandadan season 2. We're moving on to another sequel though, and this is one you just wrapped up not too long ago, and that is Call of the Night season 2. And I have 2 things that I need to get off my chest real quick. One was really good and one can be bad, so I'm gonna do the good first. Good thing first. Establishing like an actual antagonist to the show was a fantastic change. Having Anko be more of a less behind the shadows and more of an in your face character was such a great addition to the story. I think it added a lot to sort of how the vampires view themselves and sort of how Anko views vampires, and sort of the world of being a vampire in this world is a lot more human than being a vampire than I originally thought. And it's like, it's a lot of these people who are just, they weren't happy with where they were in life. And there's a bunch of circumstances, and we see that. but like they still want to be, members of society. Like the nurse character who works night shifts, like that makes sense, right? Like she's still helping. She still wants to be like what she wanted to be, but she's just a vampire. So in order to do that, she works night shifts. I was like, that's really fun. But the one thing that I need to get off my chest that drove me crazy is how Ko lived. And this, if it's explained later in the story that maybe he's like half vampire or something like that, it could change a lot. But the plot armor for his character in this season felt super off. And the fact that it was never explained either, it was just like, yeah, he lived because, kind of drove me up a wall because it was such an important scene for this season. Like it meant so much to seeing Anko try to kill Ko, whether it was on purpose or accident or whatever, and then him sort of just being okay felt wrong, and that never getting explained felt wrong. And if in a story about humanity, like being an actual human, that's what I mean in terms of humanity, felt weird. That's like the only thing I can explain with it. But like everything else was great. Creepy nuts. Man, I know a lot of people like the OP more. I love the ED. Like I thought the ED was fantastic.
And they snuck in the season 1 ED.
Yeah, they did.
I love that.
The last episode, that was a fun little addition. But those were it was so weird because it's like it was one thing of a show that I just like loved. Like I gave season 1 a 9. Having Anko be the role that she did in this story is something that I look forward to bump a show to a 10. But then the Ko thing happened and it pulled me out of the story. So I guess I want to get your thoughts on Call of the Night season 2 and if you had any hangups like I did.
So like I was confused as well about that scene. So I was like, wait, like did he turn into a vampire?
Yeah, right.
Because like everything pointed to that. And they actually did kind of explain it, but it was still confusing. It was something along the lines of like he, for a split second, his raw emotions some shit triggered the vampire or whatever to come out and heal his wounds or whatever, and then he changed back when he like gained consciousness or some shit. I'm like, that's cool that you try to explain that, but I'm not buying it.
Yes.
Like I'm not buying it at all. Like I really thought that this was the time that like we was gonna get him like turning into a vampire or whatever, and we didn't get that, and so like that was a big thing for me too. And maybe I'm just like stupid and like didn't really get it, but like overall this season was like really good though.
Agreed.
Like it's been like years since I've seen season 1, so obviously I didn't know. I couldn't remember a whole lot, but I think they've done a really good job. Like with this Anko, especially like I didn't know like the tie in between when we was being shown like her past, like the past and like how they met and stuff like that. Like I didn't make the connection until the episode, I think it was episode 7, when they looked in that drawer and they found that ladder, and then I was like, oh man, this is her. This is the detective, and the only reason why I got that was because of damn OP. Because like the sequence in the OP where the ladder, she's just playing with the ladder or whatever. Yep. I'm like, this is like, it all made sense. And then like even then I was like, well, why did she change? Like why did what happened to make her want to be like this, to kill vampires or whatever? And then the next episode, we got the whole situation with her dad. Yep. I was like, man, this is like really cool. Like this is the stuff I want in anime. Like this makes sense. And like the whole thing, like baiting like all the vampires at the end. Like I understood that. I figured that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to like kill herself or by getting them to kill her or whatever.
Yep.
Like, there's no other reason why you go to like a lighted football stadium and like all this stuff unless you're like recording her or some shit. And it turns out like I guess she was or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing with Ko, like it just like you said, it just, even though they explained it still didn't make sense.
It's like they explained like how
they
it
explained
happened.
their ass pool.
Yeah,
That's what they did.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this is what did it to make him live, but it's like, why did it happen though? Like did it happen?
How did
because,
he change back?
Yeah, it's like, did it happen because he's a half vampire and he was able to do all these things, or is there some other whatever? But like, it's one of these things where like, if it's explained later, I will change my score. But for right now, it was so, I don't know, weird. It just felt so off that I don't know, I couldn't do it. But I don't want to like, because that was really like the only thing that I didn't like about the show. I thought like getting a little bit more time with some of the side cast, especially with like the side vampires, was great. Like seeing that
it was really cool.
That otaku vampire guy. I was a big fan of him.
Love Coon.
Yeah, dude, he was funny. I really liked him. And I don't know, just seeing more times of like with these vampires on why they wanted to be a vampire, because in season 1 we didn't really get like the why they're a vampire, they just are. And just more understanding of these characters like really added to it. So this was a fantastic season with one lingering thing that can be solved, but it's pretty much the reason why I'm not giving it a 10. I'm giving it a 9. I still thought it was fantastic, and if it can be explained later, I will easily bump this up to a 10 because Anko was such an incredible addition to the story, even though I know she's in season 1, but like her role in season 2 was what elevates the story. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. What about you?
I gave it a 9 as well. At first I had it at 8. Just because like I had to have time to process it all. Because I watched this in the span of like 3 days.
Yeah, you cruised.
So, I mean, it was pretty good. Like it felt like nothing was happening, but everything was happening. Like it was good. It was also really fun to see like backstory of like Nazdana too. So like we got her whole thing where she's not actually like her parents or whatever, her mom and dad. It's pretty cool to see that. And I really like the literally the only thing that held me up from giving it like a high 9 or 10 was like the whole situation around Ko at the end.
Yep.
And I feel like that whole like last couple episodes was just like, it just wasn't all there or something. So hopefully they do explain that a little bit more. But until then, I'm really happy with what we did get for the rest of the characters. So
did you like season 1 or season 2 more?
I think season 2, season 1 felt like a flirty,
that's a good way
high
to put
school like fever dream or something. I don't know. Like they was trying to figure out, stuff. Now it's actually like we know what we're doing. We know what the world is, and now we're getting to focus on like the things that actually matter and like everything progressing.
Yep.
So, but
hell yeah. Right on. All right. Well, I mean, 2 9s for Call of the Night. I mean, I know for a show that I talked about something bad about it, the show itself was fantastic. So 9 out of 10. But a show that I'm not, well, there's one thing, but a show that I absolutely fucking adored, and that was Anne Shirley. And this is something that I was coming into this, I've had no experience with Anne Shirley at all. Miles told me this is the most Pete show of all time. You will love it. And he was absolutely correct. I did like the first half, but the second half of Anne Shirley is what like cemented what this story was for me. I did think it was a little rushed. The whole fact of the Gilbert stuff sort of got wrapped up in like the final episode, when that was kind of what we were waiting for the entire time. And like, no, because I'm not familiar with like the actual like source material, but just from what I've heard, that like it spans like her entire life. So I'm assuming that we would get more content if I read it with like Anne and Gilbert. So like seeing that kind of end there kind of sucked because I want so much more after waiting for them to finally or actually it's more of Anne to finally realize that she loves Gilbert. Gilbert knew since he was like 9 that he loved Anne. So just, I mean, it's just such a unique show. Like, honestly, where it's just like the daily life of growing up and getting older and getting a job and having everything that happens in between. And the fact that it was set in Canada was kind of cool and everything like that. So there's just so many unique things with this show that we don't really get in anime that I just gravitated towards, man. This show was awesome. What were your thoughts on Aunt Shirley?
Yeah, I was a little bit I wanted a little bit more from you know, at the end. Like I feel like we should have got more than one episode, especially that finale episode. I'm pretty sure like half of it is like Gilbert basically almost dying, and then the other half is them like, you know, coming to a realization that like they was made for each other, and you know, they're gonna start their life together and all that stuff. The future, I guess you can call it the happy ending.
Yeah,
like that's what I think they was going for. But I really wish that we could get like more of it, but it's probably not gonna happen. But who knows, you know? But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. I remember like watching this as a kid. Like I watched different versions. I don't really remember. Like I knew the only thing I could remember about like Anne Shirley was like Anne Shirley herself.
Yeah.
Like I know like what kind of person she was, like personality. She was like the free spirit type. Like that's the only thing I could remember. Like, I watched the cartoon version and I watched some of the live action version. I remember, but like my memory's bad, so
for sure.
you know. But I enjoyed it overall. I did enjoy like it's hard to say, like I enjoyed like the very like the last half of it, I guess, a lot more
Yeah,
as
I was the
well.
same way.
But I enjoyed the first half too, because like in order to understand like the last half, you got to understand where she came from as a person. And like this whole story was her basically like growing up, and like it's basically just her life, and you're learning, you're seeing her like be that redheaded stepchild of a kid that's got an imagination that goes for miles, and actually maturing and, you know, figuring out like, hey, like, you know, Royal Gardner, you know, even though he's like the knight in shining armor, the man of my dreams, like sometimes like the man of your dreams isn't what you need. You know, it's what's been in front of you the whole time. It's been supporting you your whole life. So it was pretty cool when she come to a realization. Like I cried so many times during this anime. So especially like I knew it was gonna happen. Like when she like picked Gilbert's like hair tie over Royals, and like in the ceremony thing or whatever, then it was leading up to the proposal. Like there's no way she says yes. And like I was crying happy tears after that. I was like, you go girl, you do your thing. So but yeah, this is definitely a show that I really really like. So I don't really have anything negative to say about it, except for, you know, Matthew was gone too soon. That was, like he should have like, I feel like they could have picked someone else to give her that I guess experience or whatever. So
yeah, I'm looking at, although is this somebody else? I was trying to see if I can get some background on, okay, that is okay, because like Matthew, is that Matthew?
another thing that really surprised me is it took me forever to figure out that Matthew and Marilla was not husband or wife.
No, they're brother or sister.
Yeah, I did not know that for a long ass time.
Yeah. They had no sexual tension at all. So, well, which would make sense for a married couple, but like,
yeah,
there were some elements, at least from what I'm seeing, that Matthew they lost their money in a bank thing, and that's why he had the heart attack. Where in the show, it just is like he just had a heart attack and died, so that really wasn't explained. But like, man, like losing Matthew, I think it was Ruby who also died in like one of the episodes. I was, man, yeah. This whole series had me like, I was jolly, I was happy, I was over the moon, and then I was really sad in some spots. So like when a show does that, and it just encapsulates everything that I'm looking for in this style of show, and nails out, it like knocks it out of the park. I wish we got more just because of how it ended and everything like that. But I mean, just like the cast itself was so good. Like Phil, like we got like Diana early, and then she did her thing, and then so we sort of more got like Phil as like the next best friend, and her like addition was great, and sort of like being in love with like a pastor when she is this, like it's like the last person, the last person you thought she would be attracted to. Like she's going from this free spirited, like open-minded, loving girl, and I'm glad that she loves her husband or whatever, but like a priest is like the exact opposite of what I thought she would go for. But hey, the opposites attract. So it was just a great like addition to the second half. Man, outside the pacing, the show was damn near perfect for me. Like I gave it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Anne Shirley. I don't know if it'll be weird in like our anime of the year if I'm gonna document this as a drama or a slice of life. I think it's probably gonna be a drama, but like there were so many slice of life elements in this show, so I was eating it up. What was your score on Anne Shirley, or did you have anything else you wanted to add?
My score is going to be 9 as well.
Let's go. We have the same scores for every show.
I guess so.
Might change
the only reason
show.
why I didn't give this a 10, the only reason why I didn't give it a 10 is because I feel like I wanted, so like in the middle, there was a lot of jumping around in the middle.
For sure.
It's fine. Like I still enjoyed the show a lot, but I would have rather this have been like a 2-season, 24 episode, 2-season show or whatever, and take time to explore like those areas instead of jumping ahead so much.
So you wanted another core on top of it, because it already is 24
I wanted more. That way they could explore her middle life a little bit more, because her middle life kind of seemed like it just like disappeared.
Yeah, right.
Because they, the beginning, when she, was an orphan and got into the family and stuff, they spent more time on that, and they spent more time on her adult college life than they did in the middle. So that's the only thing that I really knocked this for, is I wanted to see, all of that. This is about her life. Like I feel like one of the most important parts of people's life is like your teenage years. That's where you're learning and growing the most. So
that's why so many anime are set in high school. Like there's a reason why that's it's like a couple, just because so many people either have gone through it or will go through it, that it's an easy setting to sort of add that to it. And I kind of agree. I do wish, I just think that you could probably make this series like 80 episodes, I would guess, and you could probably get it, because like we stopped when she's like 22 or something. Like there is so much more left of her life left. I'm just guessing because I don't know how the book goes, but it just seems like there's more there.
Yeah, for sure. And like, the target audience, would watch all those 80 episodes. Like, your random shonen, like battle action person, they're not gonna watch this shit. Like, but people like us, we're gonna watch all 80 episodes because we want to see all of that.
Yes.
So I understand it. They probably thought that they only had one season to go, 24 episodes to tell this story in, which they done a pretty good job for that. Like, they was told, hey, we're gonna do 24 episodes, do what you can, get to this point. I think they've done a good job at that, but I wanted more. So
hell yeah. 2 9s. Moving on to the most hype show of the season, obviously the biggest sleeper, and that's Turkey Time to Strike. And there is a lot to say about Turkey. So I'm gonna start out with this. If you watch Turkey and you watched the first episode and you saw the twist and you went, man, this is dumb as shit, I'm dropping it. Valid. 100% valid. If you continued watching Turkey past episode 1 and your thoughts were, man, this is really stupid, but I'm gonna keep watching it, that's on you. That is all on you. This show, so one of my favorite things in anime, because me and you, we watch so much anime. If we watch a run-of-the-mill rom-com, I bet we can tell you 70% accuracy what happens in episode 1, then what happens in episode 2, and then what happens in episode 3, and vice versa. And that's fine because we enjoy those styles of shows, but when you mix it up, that's what gets my attention. And with Turkey, the fact that I was coming into this thinking it was a cute girls doing bowling, and maybe it was going to be something like, I'm going to throw out some random ass all girls sports shows, Moe Ippon, Cinderella 9, Hanibado. If I was coming into this and expecting that, and I got what I got, I would be so happy. And that's what I loved about Turkey, because I didn't know what the fuck was coming next. Like, we had episodes that were directly focused on bowling, but those bowling episodes that were focused like on like the fundamentals and stuff like that, especially towards the end of the season, were to like save people's lives and stuff like that. It's like, what are we even doing? And like on paper, it sounds so dumb, but when we watch it in anime form, it's just a lot of fun. And so there's a couple things I took away from this. One, I think the biggest thing that I took away from is the entire allegory of it being bowling, that you have a second chance if you don't knock all the pins down your first time. We saw this resonate with so many characters. I think the most was Nanase with her father, giving her father a second chance when he left and abandoned them. And then you sort of have like this backstory of, yeah, he was a shitty father, but like at least we have some reasons to why he left. And, you know, some people just go through shit, and sometimes they use different like escape mechanisms. And it seemed like her father used it to just run away. And so how at the end with her sort of giving her father a second chance was fantastic. We saw that with Rina, I think in general, with just the overall just relationships in general, whether it's her family or her friends. Mai was a great lead, I thought overall. I didn't like Mai and Nozomi, I didn't really like connect with. Like I thought they were fun characters, but like they were whatever. But like Sayuri is my favorite character in the entire show. I thought she was great. I think it was episode 5 or 6 when she had the episode with where we found out that the prince is actually like a girl or whatever, and sort of their heart to heart about like not necessarily like being a woman, but it was a lot of like womanly things that wasn't played as a joke. Like a lot of times we see with anime where it's like, oh, I'm on my period, ha ha ha. It's like, nah, this was like real shit. And they talked it out, and it was just like a moment where it's like, in a show like this, where we're traveling back to feudal Japan and having this type of moment was, I thought, great. I can see how it pulls people out, but like, it just felt, in a setting where you're in feudal Japan, it felt real. And so, yes, there's flaws to this show. The production is whatever. Like, there's not, I do wish we got them to actually be a band at some point, other than like the LP. But Turkey,
what happened with that?
I don't know. Maybe we get a spin-off. Who knows? Like maybe they go to another dimension another time, and instead of bowling, they have to play music or something like that. But I just love sort of like these character-driven shows, especially since I just did Meibashi Witches, where it's a character-driven show based off of their problems, and their problems are solving the overall problem. And that's what I liked about Turkey. It was just so funny because we have shows where we gave it 9, and I was talking about things I hate about it. And this show, I'm just going to be talking about things I liked about it, and I'm not going to give it, I'm going to give it a lower score. But I talked enough. Tyler, your thoughts on Turkey?
Yeah. So, just like you said, I really like anime that you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's literally some of my favorite stuff over the last couple of years. Like, I almost didn't watch this. I almost didn't watch it just because I thought it was going to be like a cute girls doing cute things bowling anime.
Yep.
You know, and I'm not a bowling fan, you know, like, so it was whatever. But I was like, okay, I'll check out the first episode. And I don't even think that I like looked at Twitter or, you know, Discord or anything like that before I watched it. But like, this was like one of the craziest like rug pulls, I guess you could say,
right?
on an anime. Like as soon as it aired, like they posted like the other promo visual art thing, and like because the first episode, like you go back to, you know, with the samurais and shit, and like whatever era that they went to, and I'm just like, what's going on?
Huh?
And like this is this kind of stuff is like you can only get this if you have anime originals.
Yep.
And like I'm really glad that like anime originals are actually starting to be creative nowadays.
Taking
Like,
chances and risk and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it used to be like like some bullshit isekai or some, you know, just stuff that probably has a source somewhere. That's what originals used to be, I feel like. And now like these last few like seasons or whatever, like we had like Train to the End of the World.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
We had like Apocalypse Hotel. Now we got this. Like you don't in each of these shows, like you don't really know what's happening. You're just along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really enjoy that. And like yeah, sure, there were some things that I didn't like in this,
Yeah.
you know, but at the like you gotta give and take, you know. Like some of like the fighting scenes that involved bowling balls specifically
terrible.
were really unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like, but like you can see that they're unrealistic. Like you're not gonna roll a bowling ball like 20 yards through the forest to spin it and, you know, and like knock over
they play
samurai.
into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that it's not being for real.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like a lot of people really didn't like probably dropped it over shit like that.
Yeah.
But like I was like, okay, like, you know, that's stupid, but you know, whatever, we ball, you know.
Yeah.
Fine. But another thing that I didn't really care for, like a lot, was like the characters kind of like some of them. I forget who. I think it was Nanase. She would like contradict herself. Like she would be like, "Let's act like air, like kooky, and let's not bring anything into the past or like tell anything or whatever." And then here she is like building shit that don't belong, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you know, I can forgive the stupid bowling scenes or whatever, but like this is like, this doesn't make sense. But like if it was someone else doing it or whatever, but literally the person that said, "Hey, let's not do this," and she ends up doing that. So but I mean, it was, other than that, like it was really cool. It was a really cool like fun experience because like you don't have to worry about people spoiling it because nobody knows,
right?
So
yeah,
and they really keep you on your toes. So I do think there was a lot of like I don't know what they was going for, but like the people in the past was like the same as the people from the present. You know what I mean? Like they was like the like almost like clones, but they wasn't. You know what I mean?
It's like God, it's like the, do you know the ending of this is bad, but like the ending of the Demon Slayer manga or something along those lines, where it's like, oh, they're someone of something that we've done in the past. It's like I maybe I should have said that, but
yeah. So that's like it almost feels like that. It's like that they're the same people or some shit.
Yeah.
Like they literally have like same hair color. Like they become friends with one other person, like really good friends with one other person. That one other person is just like them.
Yeah.
You know, like Sayori, for example. You know, she was a really strong, whatever, and you know, she becomes friends with the girl that, you know, acted like a warrior or whatever. So like it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seeing that, even though I don't know what they was doing with that, like, it was never explained, but it was pretty cool regardless.
Yeah, there's some holes open for sure.
Yeah.
The plot holes open.
One thing that really got me though, I didn't think it was gonna like surprise me as much. After like the first couple things or whatever. Even like they decide to stay or whatever, like that kind of surprised me, but it's whatever. And then they decide to come back.
Yeah.
That surprised me too. But like, what else are they gonna do? But the biggest surprise was actually Sumomo being the adopted mom of Mai. That was like insane to me. I was like, that's actually a really crazy pull.
Yeah.
And I respect it.
There's a couple of those for sure.
Yeah.
I guess for sure those happened. It just didn't really I guess it's like one of those things where like it doesn't like affect me in any way because that's not what I was like looking for in the show. Like they could wrap it up any way that they want, and I would probably still give it the same score. But I give this a 7. I have it as a 10 on Mal just because I want to bump up its score. But it did have some flaws. Like its production is like whatever. Like you're not gonna get anything. You're not getting any Sakuga. You're not getting any crazy moments. But I think I think for me at least, I really enjoyed 3 of the girls and sort of their story and their message, and that was enough for me to keep going and give the show a 7.
Yeah. For me, I gave it an 8. Just because
we changed our score. We're not matching.
Yeah, I give it an 8 just because like they was brave enough to do what they did.
Hell yeah.
They promoted this as a bowling anime, cute girls doing cute things, bowling anime. They come out with and hit it out of the left field, like with like a whatever the hell that we got.
Yep.
And like it's insane that they actually pulled it off. Like I don't. Like you said, I get for people if they drop it or whatever, but like I feel like that they missed out on some of the like this is the stuff that I look for.
Yeah,
like,
100%, right?
So like obviously it could have been better, but just because it was brave enough to do it, like I have to give it an 8. So
we're on the same wavelength. But speaking of originals and speaking of like creativity. Well, we wanted to touch quick on a show called Milky Subway. Not a whole lot to talk about just because it's like 36 minutes long for every episode. But I heard about Milky Subway and I mentioned it, but I didn't really watch it. And then one day I was bored and you posted like the link of like all the episodes. And so one night I watched all of Milky Subway, and what a fantastic show. This is, for 36 minutes, I got like a great, just fun ride. It if anyone's seen the movie Bullet Train, I know that I'm using trains as a reference, but Bullet Train was like really silly things, action stuff happening on a train. That's what Milky Subway is, but it's more, I would say, dialogue focused between like the characters just being like delinquents, but like not really. And just sort of just like the funky stuff that they did on this train. The show was fantastic. But Tyler, you got me into this. What were your thoughts on Milky Subway?
Yeah, I definitely think that more people should give it a try. Like, there's nothing holding you back. Like it's really funny. It's extremely short, and it's on YouTube for free.
Yep.
So like you can't beat that. And plus, like it's freaking like it's subbed and dubbed.
Dude,
and
the
like
dub is so good.
But it's dubbed in like a shit ton of languages.
Yep.
It's not just English dub, and that's insane to me for like a free show on YouTube. That's like there's one dude that did like a bunch of it. Of course, he had help with like the voice acting and like the studio and stuff like that. I don't know who did all that, but like it's insane that it's got that much production value behind it for being what it is. But like the one thing that I really enjoyed about this show was actually the voice acting.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Like, yeah, like the Japanese, like I watched it subbed.
Okay. I watched it dubbed.
I watched a couple episodes dubbed too, because I know you said you watched it dubbed. And I just wanted to see, if it was just as good. And I think it was. But obviously, I love the Japanese voice acting better. But the thing that I really like about it is like it reminded me of Train to the End of the World.
A little bit for
Like,
sure.
so like the friend group in Train to the End of the World, like you could tell that like you it seemed like that the friend group was like naturally friends, and the conversations was like very like free, and like it just felt like they was friends, like they literally could finish each other's sentences if they wanted to. And it felt like that was the case in this show too. Like they would literally talk, and like as soon before they would even get done talking, and the other one would start talking, and they would just like be bickering back and forth,
Yep.
just like they was friends in real life or whatever. And I really love when shows have that like really good voice acting like that. So that really stood out to me because I think this show needed that as well, because it is heavy dialogue, and
Yep.
it relies on that to make you laugh. And I did that a lot. I laughed a lot, even though it was only like 30 some minutes, like you said.
I mean, for like a 3-minute episode show, I got so much entertainment. Every episode, I was laughing, or I was like, oh, that's like, there's some parts where it's like watching City, where it's like, maybe you don't laugh out loud, but like you're like, oh, that was a funny bit. Like you could understand like that, and that had a lot going on with Milky Subway. It was honestly just such an enjoyable watch, man. Just sometimes you just need to just chill for 30 minutes and watch something, and this is it, man. I would take 6 seasons in a movie of Milky Subway. I love
Exactly.
their cast.
Yes. It got done dirty because it was so short. I do have a question though. Did you get that song stuck in your head? You know the song.
Oh, there was like
Gilroy or whatever.
Yeah, not as much as you did.
God.
It's a good song, but not as much as you.
I respect them though. They was like posting in the comments, like everybody was wanting like a loop of it.
Yeah.
And like like a week later or something like that, they put an hour loop on the channel. It's like da 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 da.
That's fun.
I'm like, bro, this is so good.
That's so fun. All right, well, I gave this an 8. Give me more, all of it. I would consume every second of it.
Exactly. I got it at 8 as well.
Let's go.
Like if it was longer, I would literally give it a 9. But just like it done what it could in the amount of time it was given. So, and like it really went way above expectations, considering what it actually is. So,
hell yeah,
definitely deserves it.
All right, let's get to our final show that we're going to be talking about together, at least, and that is the summer Hikaru died. I have, oh man, where to start? Beginning with the show, I was so ingrained in what the show was presenting immediately based off of the sound design of the show, where I'm not like a big Higurashi fan, but I'm surrounded by giant Higurashi fans, and I've been to the village that Higurashi is based off of, and it has a vibe. And with like the cicadas and everything like that, this rural countryside horror has a vibe, and that's what Hikaru did immediately. I was sucked in by everything that it was presenting visually and audially. Like, it was next level. And then once we sort of got more into what is causing like Hikaru to be the person that he is, these sort of sacrifices that not only their village is doing, but other villages are doing, that remind me of like a Full Metal Alchemist like map, where they're sacrificing different like body parts to keep them like whole, was so fascinating. But the biggest question I have, and the mystery that's surrounding me that I can't wait to get at, is the same thing with Call of the Night, where I need this answered. And I think it was episode 8 or 9 or somewhere around that range, where the guy comes into school and stabs himself. So, do you remember that scene? Where like
where he was naked or whatever.
He was naked, and like his outline looked like he didn't look like a human, but like they're reporting it, and all the kids are freaking out. And there's a scene where it's like a news report that this happened in their town, and like the adults are like eating dinner and are like completely unfazed that this happened. At least that's the reaction that the adults gave. And I was like, oh my God, is this something that's like specifically targeted towards like a teenager or young adult or whatever? And like what's happening in this? Like I was so entranced by the adults not reacting on TV to this situation, even though we saw a scene with like the teachers trying to stop the guy. But I thought that was like a really important scene to sort of maybe set up a mystery that we don't really know of yet. So that was like, when a mystery does that, I'm just like, holy shit, I need to know now what that is. And it's a little different compared to Call of the Night, because that one seemed more of like an asshole. This one sort of seems like it was like a like a it's setting something up. Like it's planting the seed for something. Throughout the entire series though, like the body horror stuff I thought was fantastic. There was like a scene, because like people like describe this as like a BL, but like it's not, but like it has some like, you know, messaging and stuff like that, with like Hikaru doesn't like to go into his own body and like feel inside. But then like when the main character, I forgot his name, Yoshiki, whatever, I forgot what they call him, but Yoshiki. When he does it, Hikaru is like super happy and is having like the time of his life. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that means something too. So there's a lot of things where I'm like, I'm wondering if the show is presenting this in a way for me to think this way. And we are getting a second season, so I do think some of these questions can be answered. But I just fell in love with like everything a body horror style of show can do, whether it's getting me in the mood for what I think is like horror, to the actual like body horror and the scenes that surround the mystery of the town. So I loved Hikaru. Tyler, your thoughts on Hikaru?
It was really good. Like one thing, you know, just to talk about it for a second, since you just when the whole thing about him sticking his hand in Hikaru,
yep,
like you said, the sound was crazy. Like that literally made me like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do, because I was like, this sounds so disgusting.
Yep.
Because like it was realistic. It was like what you expected something like that to sound like, and like it just come out of nowhere. Like I would hate to have been watching this on like the main TV or something, because you're thinking like, okay, well, you know, this is like a supernatural, whatever, like nothing like that's gonna happen. The next thing you know, they're sticking hands in each other where they don't belong and stuff like that. I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. But that and like all the transformation stuff was like insane as well.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm so glad the side games got this.
Yes.
Because they really knocked it out of the park with what, you know, with to make this what it was. So not only the sound, but like the animation was insane. Like I thought this was going to be a really sad story too, like along the lines of Takopi, Original Sin.
Yep.
But it's more of like the supernatural horror. Like I cried several times during this, but like nothing like Takopi.
Yeah.
Like, so it kind of shocked me there, I guess, because I didn't know what I was getting really. But I think that there is a lot of symbolism in the show as well. Like I don't really have to like. I'm not. I guess I'm not. I don't have the attention and the time to figure out all the symbolism, but there's a lot in this show, like a lot. Um, and I think that there's a lot of symbolism with like, um, you know, like gay things and stuff like that too. Uh, like I think the whole story is centered around like people in a small town, and like they're not being judged, like they're being judged by everyone about what they are. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I think it's clearly got stuff to do with that as well. So, um, but like I don't know, like they say, didn't they say like they don't want it like tagged as like boys love or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, because this is just based off like what I'm thinking is, and this is just from me like reading and watching other BLs, is that like Yoshiki to me kind of seems like he might be closeted a little bit.
Oh, he definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because of like his realization of sort of losing the original Hikaru, which I think it was somebody that was important to him in a different sense, and then this Hikaru, where it's still the person that he liked, but I think he likes him in a different way. It seems like we're moving towards that. I kind of got that feeling with after he tries to kill Hikaru, that we sort of got a change in his character, where knowing that he can't kill Hikaru, I think sort of changed the trajectory of how he wanted to proceed with it, and I think we're going to see that, and I think that's maybe why people call it like has like these BL things, because maybe the character himself is gay, but I don't think like they're going to like address like a relationship. And so maybe that's why it doesn't want the tag, but it definitely has like the themes are there, like 100%. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure like it really feels like the biggest theme is like maybe that's what they're trying to go for,
Yeah.
with Hikaru and Yoshiki, like it being in a small town and stuff, like maybe that's kind of the symbolism behind that. I don't know. I'm not the mangaka, so
Yeah, and it's something that we can find out too with more content too. If what we are seeing and what we are getting presented is actually what they're meaning, because I got that takeaway as well.
I do know the finale was like it really made you feel like that too, because like Hikaru's like, I love you, but not in those ways. I forget what exactly he said, like not in that like a friendship or romantically way or something like that, I think he said. But Yoshiki was like, he was acting like a dude in love.
Yeah.
Like he was really on his knees begging. And like you don't do that unless like you love someone.
Yeah,
So
he's going through something for sure.
yeah.
And I think that's great, and
And
I hope that it's explored.
yeah, I really do too. The whole episode 7, that was wild, man.
That shit was nuts.
Like I knew something was gonna happen, like the vibes was off. Like I thought that Yoshiki was gonna try to kill himself or something. Because like he called his mom and everything.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
and like he ended up like trying to kill Hikaru. And like I cried that episode. I was like, man, I feel sorry. Like even though Hikaru's a monster or whatever, like I feel sorry for Hikaru because like you just did all that to him. Like
yeah, right.
What is he feeling like right now? Like he feels, defeated, heartbroken. So I don't know. It's a lot of exploration on like emotions and stuff like that in this, and I really enjoy it. So
yeah, I like you mentioned like symbolism, but like when I was thinking like, when Yoshiki goes into Hikaru, like that's like kind of exploring somebody's body, like in his sense.
I think it's meant for that.
A literal
so,
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like these things that are there. I can't wait. I'm giving this like a really high 9. I originally had it at 10, but I think this is the type of show where let me finish the series before I give it a 10. But fantastic. I mean, man, just the what this show does better than any show that it did this season is it does the little things so well. It does like the little sound designs, a little flicker in somebody's voice when they're scared or something like that. We saw that a little bit in Asako character after there's like a scene where like she like was like going to the store with Hikaru and he sort of reveals himself to her. Like we see these reactions that are like, okay, this is getting This is getting really good. And then towards the end, we got this like blind guy coming into town who is going to probably ruffle up some feathers, but super high 9. I to be honest, not a whole lot to say bad about it. This was my second favorite show of the season, and they knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see season 2. And you mentioned Cygames. I gotta give a shout out to Cygames. It's a 2-horse race, horse pun intended, between Studio of the Year. It's either Cloverworks with everything that they did, or Cygames with Hikaru, Apocalypse Hotel, and Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey. Those two just knocked it out. So what was your final rating of Hikaru?
I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it was ever in the 10 range for me. But like I really enjoyed it. Yep. I really wish that we got a little bit more about the detective dude. We seen him like throughout the whole series. And I'm assuming that he's gonna be a big part in the next season, is what it seems like. But this dude, like he uses the spirits to do detective work, I guess.
He's got a lot of things, because like he's blind except for when he wears his glasses, then he can see. So there's a lot of like question marks around this character that I think is going to get answered.
So I wish that we got a little bit more about him. It felt like he was just like there just doing his thing, and like, you know, he got a lot of screen time, but we don't even really know what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Have you seen Summertime Render?
No.
Oh, dang it. I was like, because he reminds me a lot of the big titty girl that comes in and like fucks shit up. Like he reminds me a lot of that type of character, where like he's gonna fuck shit up in this town. So that's what I'm looking for too.
Yeah, he's got it, but I wish I knew a little bit more about him in the first season, since he was like on the screen a lot more. One thing, I really hope that they really do like lean into like all the like the gay themes and stuff. Like I really want that to happen. Like I hope that they don't shy away from it. Like I think if they go that route or whatever, like I think that this could like be bumped up to a 10, especially if the detective stuff gets like more information in the second half, which I think it will. So
yeah, for sure. All right, I mean, really high praises for all the shows that we covered today. Like me and you are both pretty generous raters, I would say, but it's also one of those things where like I don't really talk about shows that I dropped or don't like. So there were some shows this season that I dropped, like The Water Magician, which was a show like even then like I thought it was fine. I just didn't. This summer was so stacked where it's like if you were fine, you were getting pushed to the wayside. But that wraps up what we were going to talk about. We'll do real quick. I want to get Tyler's like his thoughts on the season overall and his anime of the season. But before I do that, I want to run over 2 shows that I watched. Grand Blue season 2. I liked season 1. Season 2 was a lot of the same thing, which was fine. It's still funny, but like it's not really like my favorite type of comedy. I gave it a 7. And then Silent Witch, at the time of recording, the final episode airs tomorrow, but Monaco has been such a great lead, and the show has been just a really good show. I'm planning on giving it an 8. I think it has a chance of being a 9 when it's all said and done, but I'm leaning more towards like a high 8. So those are 2 shows that I didn't get to this episode. But Tyler, what was like your thoughts overall on the season and some of your favorite shows and maybe your anime of the season?
Yeah, this is definitely like one of the best anime seasons that I've had the pleasure of, I guess, participating in since I've been watching seasonal anime.
Yep.
I haven't been watching seasonal anime as long as you, but I have been watching for like probably 4 or 5 years. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Seasonal anime, and like I know we was talking about this the other day with Sora. Like which one's better, you know, this season or
spring 23?
Spring, yeah. And you know, spring was like really good, but like this season was better in my opinion.
For those who don't know, I consider spring 23 as the best season of anime ever. and I think Summer 25 was like on point with that. I would say like overall there was more top talent, but there were shows from like Spring 23, like Vinland Saga season 2, like one of my all-time favorites. Like Summer didn't have an all-time favorite for me, and that's why I still like Spring, because like I mean we're both reading Skip and Loafer, like
Yeah.
because of Skip and Loafer I'm reading that manga. There's no manga. Well, actually it's not true. April Showers I am reading the manga for. So there is one show from this season that I'm reading the manga on, but like they're both just like juggernauts. It's like, which incredible season did you think was better? It's like they're both just bangers.
Yeah. The thing is, like Spring, like I just like you said, like it had some like really, really, really high quality shows that like is in like way up there in the rankings, like all time or whatever, and probably our list. But like this season had more quality things, even though it didn't have like the super high quality things, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
And
Like there's like top talent, and then there's like, are you a D1 football player or are you like an NFL pro? And I felt like Spring had like 1 pro and 4 D1 players, where Summer had like 8 D1 players.
Yeah, I think we got Oshinoko too.
Yes, we did. Oh, dude,
Spring.
we got so many.
So like we got like a lot of like crazy bangers in Spring.
Heavenly
but the thing
Illusion.
is like,
yeah, just
I think I watched like probably 20, close to 20 shows probably this season, and like probably only 2 of them was 7s. The rest of them was 8s, 9s, or high. You know, there was a couple
season.
10s. So like I didn't get that with Spring. Like obviously I had like a lot of like I had a couple 10s and I had some 9s and I had a few 8s, but I didn't get like 15 8+, you know.
For sure.
But I did get some of my all-time favorites, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
from Spring. So
what was your anime of the season?
My anime of the season had to be Fragrant Flower,
Okay.
Blooms with Dignity. I'm a huge fan of the manga, and I really think that they hit it out of the park. Cloverworks
killed it.
Voice actors, like everything was just so perfect. So I think that was definitely my number one. I think Dress Up Darling made a really really strong push for that role, but you just can't beat Fragrant Flower. So
For sure. No, great pick. Honestly, there's so many. I think there's like 10 shows you could probably pick for anime of the season, and it would all be completely valid, and that is one of them. So Tyler, thank you so much for joining. I've asked you to join before, but we both record on Mondays, so it's normally pretty shitty, but luckily, not even luckily, with some of the scheduling stuff that we have, we were able to link up, and I'm happy that you were able to join. So do you have any parting words to your adoring fans?
Goodbye, people. Have a nice day.
Yeah, go check out Tyler. Go check out Sora. Even if you don't like other anime podcasts, liking, subscribing to their channels helps them and it helps us. So if you want to do that, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on. Next week for Watch Club, we're watching the Cosette movie, a show. I don't know. It's the thing that Miles has been nominating for months. So it's like 4 episodes, and I don't know how we're going to do an hour and a half podcast out of it, but we'll figure something out. Otherwise, I think for non-Watch Club, hopefully I'll be getting to the movie theater to watch the 100-meter movie. But the guy who did Orb, it's his latest work. So there's like 2 showings in Minnesota. So I'm gonna do my best. It's so, oh man.
It's probably 0 in Kentucky, so
dude, it's just like
you're doing fine.
You want to see it? I don't know. I wish it was like more timings, because like on Sunday it's only showing at 1 time, where I was like, oh, I can't get to that part of town at that time. So hopefully I can see it Monday or Tuesday. So hopefully I can get there. Hopefully I can get an episode out for everybody, and you can enjoy it if you go out and see it. So on behalf of Miles, Sora, and Tyler, I am Peter. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time. Peace.